The man visits his uncle out in Tonopah, and as he's preparing for the journey, he's going to get him the perfect gift. Now, the man out in Tonopah is a man who wants for nothing and needs even less. So the nephew comes up with the perfect gift. He's going to get him a thermometer that hooks up to his TV. It tells him the temperature, the humidity, the 7-day forecast, anything that he could want to know. He takes it out to him, and the uncle opens up the gift, stares at it for just a moment, says, "Come with me to the window." And they walk over, and says, "You see that board out there? When I look at that board, if that board is wet, I can bet it's probably raining. When I look at the board and it's dry, it's probably not raining. If I look out at that board and there's snow on top of it, you can bet your buck there's probably snowing outside. If I look at the board and it's shaking and moving, probably having an earthquake. And if I look at that board and it's gone, probably just had a twister." Uncle sits back down, starts grinning from ear to ear. Now, I know that we have to have technology in this world. We've become very reliant on that technology as well, and I think that too much of a good thing can be a problem. So, even though there are many benefits, I think it's come at a cost where we've lost some of the basic skills that we used to have of memorization and of oral communication, talking to one another. So let's take a look back at what we used to do before there was technology. Back in Homer's days, where we had epic poems such as the Odyssey and the Iliad, they didn't even write down information. They had people memorize the story and pass it along from generation to generation, just from listening, repeating, and then retelling the story. And we even find that to this day, people are still carrying on the practice. There was a study done in Somalia not too long ago where they found that poets were still using this tradition. It says the poetry reciters were under the strict obligation to memorize and then reproduce as faithfully as they could the oral text of the poems. That was from Andrzejowski from the Journal of African Studies back in 2011. So this art form from thousands of years ago is still being utilized to this day. I think it's indicative of how effective the tradition was, and also shows just how capable our minds are for receiving and transmitting this information. So did the way we learn and pass along info need to change? It certainly did with technology. Let's take a look. Technology has for sure revolutionized the world for the better. We have mass instantaneous communications that can aid people during natural disasters. Scientists are able to pass along information in advanced technology and science faster than ever before in the history of the earth. But technology has come at a cost. It's become a distraction. In the Journal of Engineering, Forresters found that 1,000 of his engineering students that he surveyed, 27% of them said they had a hard time not being able to control their tendency to use technology. Now, I found myself even checking news sites and playing games in the middle of writing this very speech, so I can attest to that personally. Distractions are more than just time wasters, though. They actually have found that our use of technology has rewired the way our brains work, the way we learn. Nicholas Carr is quoted as saying, "Technology has diminished our capacity for sustained concentration, focus, and thinking in a linear manner." So, if we don't have our information coming from multiple sources, we find it hard to focus now. We're so used to jumping back and forth and getting quick information from many different places. This makes it harder to learn from one person or for any one long period of time. And as I said, distractions aren't just time wasters, but they actually inhibit the amount of information we're able to retain. So, this quote says, "Maintaining a representation in working memory requires allocating resource for the duration, and success is found through how much focus is given." And that's from Oberer, Farrell, Dreher, and Lutowski. So basically, however much attention we're able to give to what we're learning is going to give a direct correlation to how much we retain. We take a look, there was a study done with some students, and they were given some facts to recall, and with no distraction, on the first script, the left-hand, right-hand side here, we can see that 85% of the people were able to recall all the information that was given to them. Now, with just the added distraction of music, that went down to 70%. We see a big and immediate correlation there. Now, it's not rocket science that distractions will stop you from learning, but it's a documented fact, and it's something that we need to take into account as we use technology more and more. Technology enables so much availability that learners are having trouble figuring out how to properly learn like they used to. So can we live without this technology that we love so much? Of course not. We're almost at a point in society where technology and humans have become symbiotic, have to live with each other. But technology isn't 100% reliable either. The power switch can be turned off, machines can be broken, and what are we supposed to do without it? I want to recount with you one more story that I had. In high school, I would walk home, and on the way home, we had a neighbor that lived right next door. His name was Bill. And as I would walk home, I would talk to him every once in a while. And one of these days, he told me that he used to be a postmaster, and he was one of the only all-aquatic postmasters in the continental United States. He was on a boat that drove around a lake, and I found that very interesting. It's something I remember still 15 years later. I possibly could have Googled that. I could have found it on the internet. There's no way I would have remembered it. There's a big benefit to being able to talk to someone and learn from them. So what I urge all of you to do is to find someone to talk to, whether it's an elder, whether it's one of your peers, whether it's talking to someone younger than you to pass along information. You can't rely on technology. We have all of these humans that we're able to connect with to make this world a special place. Thank you.